everybody, I'm Laura, this is Ross, and we are from Phoenix Elite MMA and Conditioning. This is vlog number 2 for us, and we've got a couple of questions to catch up on, so here it is. The wonderful Ash, amongst many other questions she asked in the one comment, I believe her main question is that she wants an overview on why we do 5-3-1, which is an undulating strength program that we released a few weeks ago, if you're not familiar with that. 10 by 10 and strongman, opposed to just boring leg day, arm day. The importance of keeping the body guessing, question mark. So to restructure that question, I think what she's trying to ask is, why do we structure our training? Why do we do the protocols that we do, and we don't just do same old leg and arm days? Alright.
I'll try and make this one less of a rant and try not to swear as much. I'm trying to be as informative as possible. First of all, I just want to identify that the 5-3-1 and the 10-10-10, 10-10-10 or GBT, if you will, in this particular question are effectively part of the same protocol. It's a strength-based protocol, and that's probably a good way to start. 5-3-1 or a traditional kind of strength approach can be very demanding on the central nervous system. It can also potentially be very potentially dangerous. Not dangerous, that's a bad word, but can possibly lead to injuries for a couple of different things. Traditional strength training, where you're doing your maximal or just sub-maximal lifts, requires you to put a lot of strain on the body, can be quite taxing on the central nervous system, and if done for too long a period, can lead to kind of injuries, aches and pains and whatnot. And if anyone who's been doing these sorts of protocols for a while could probably testify to that, or be testament to that. I'm not saying you're going to tear your MCL or anything like that, but you'll start to get niggling aches and pains. So what we found with our programs in particular, by alternating between a traditional heavy lifting strength protocol like 5-3-1 and something a bit more kind of, I suppose, user-friendly like a GBT or a 10-10-10, was a great way to continue to get progress and results without putting an overly heavy amount of strain on the central nervous system and the body. I'll explain that by now explaining 10-10-10, why we use GBT and why GBT is a popular method or protocol of ours. The concept behind GBT, or the concept behind 10-10-10, is effectively achieving the same result as a strength-based program without lifting heavy loads. So remember, that is when you're doing 10 lifts, 10 sets of 10 lifts, say for example on a deadlift, your starting operating weight is roughly about 50%, give or take. So you're nowhere near your 1 rep max. It should be effectively a fairly comfortable rep range or weight for that rep range to start off with. It only becomes challenging toward the end. And what we're doing is we're overloading the muscle through volume as opposed to weight. You still get the same neurological response and central nervous system response as if you were lifting heavy, but with less demand and less potential risk from lifting heavy, if that makes sense. So the 10-10-10 and the 5-3-1 is a good way of mixing between the two different protocols to achieve the same result, to lessen the risk of injury and strain on the central nervous system. The next part of that, or the bigger part of the question, is why don't we just do boring legs day, arms day, why we do different protocols? What we're very passionate about and what we do a lot is we do a lot of research into different ways of training. We try them out ourselves, we try them out on our clients, we put a lot of effort into ourselves, and we try and net down to the most effective way to get results. A lot of you are doing 6, 8, 12-week programs, particularly the 6 and 8 week programs, not so much the 12-week programs, but the 6 and 8 week programs, you really want to be as efficient as possible. You have least amount of time to get a maximum result. So we're really trying to maximize the protocols that are going to get the best out of your body in a short period of time. Not only that, but we use protocols that are not just superficial. One way of that is we're not just doing things to make the muscles necessarily get pumped and look good for a short period of time. We're looking at exercises and protocols that maximize and optimize your hormones and your hormone system. Get a rise in your testosterone, get an increase in your natural growth hormone levels, reduce your cortisol levels, etc., etc. All the things we bore you to death about on a weekly and daily basis, all that nonsense. So it's about maximizing your return. The organic sub benefit of that for you guys, as you alluded to in your question, Ash, is it's a lot less boring. It's a lot more motivating to have something new and interesting and unique to come to when you come to the gym, as opposed to coming in and just sitting on a leg press machine or a leg extension machine and doing the same, 6 sets of 12 reps day in, day out. You'll still get results from that, don't get me wrong, doing that sort of stuff, but it does get boring as piss. And yeah, again, it will take a longer period of time to get that response and that kind of return from your body, if you will. Does that answer the question, or the first part of the question?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably long enough, but maybe in our next video we can go into like periodization and why it's important to periodize your training rather than just
Well, it's only about 6 minutes at the moment, so maybe we can touch on that very, very quickly. Very, very quickly, we hopefully didn't ramble too much, and hopefully that answer made some sense. But the bigger part of that picture was periodization as a whole. And periodization should be geared specifically toward an end result, and you want to move through those phases while continually working toward an end goal. Chopping and changing the periodization will allow you to continue to get progress. The easiest way, or the oversimplification of that, is if you just continue to go and do 10 to 12 reps of a sequence of exercises for a long period of time, the efficiency drops. Your body will adapt and you won't get any response to it anymore. I think Ash used the term "keep your body guessing." Yeah, again, in our protocols and our program, that's an organic side effect yet again. But the reality is, if you don't periodize it properly, you're going to hit plateaus and get stuck at plateaus. You need to continue to diversify your workouts, and you need to work through 3 or 4 different phases to achieve different results. So phase 1 should always be about putting muscle and strength onto your frame. Period 2 should basically effectively be a good hypertrophy phase. So continuing the muscle building, but less emphasis on the strength, but trying to get the maximum volume into the muscle. And then the last phase, if you're just doing a 3-phase like we normally do in our programs, is your shredding or your leaning phase, to use popular terminology in the industry, which is basically taking all that hard-earned muscle and all that growth and volume you got in your musculoskeletal system and shredding it up so you see those abs, you see the biceps popping, you see the pecs ripping and all that sort of stuff, all that wonderful stuff that the reason people come to the gym for. So those are, as an oversimplification of periodization. Ultimately, it also helps prevent injuries and stuff like that because you're not over-stressing your central nervous system over a long period of time.
Cool. That's all for today, guys. Keep your questions coming. Post them up on the Facebook page. We've still got a couple to get through, but we'll keep plodding away, and hopefully that answered your question, Ash. See you next time.